existential threat.
What, they'd leave planet Earth?
I mean, the limitations we have to be stuck to planet Earth are mainly air. They don't need air, okay? And mainly, finding ways to leave it. I mean, if you think of a vast universe of 13.6 billion light years, if you're intelligent enough, you may find other ways. You may have access to wormholes, you may have abilities to survive in open space. You can use dark matter to power yourself, dark energy to power yourself. It is very possible that we, because of our limited intelligence, are highly associated with this planet, but they're not at all. Okay? And the idea of them zooming by us, like we're making such a big deal of them because we're the ants and a big elephant is about to step on us. For them, they're like, yeah, who are you? Don't care. Okay? And it's a possibility. It's an interesting, optimistic scenario. Okay? For that to happen, they need to very quickly become super intelligent without us being in control of them. Again, what's the worry? The worry is that if a human is in control, a human will show very bad behavior for using an AI that's not yet fully developed. I don't know how to say this any other way. We could get very lucky and get an economic or a natural disaster. Believe it or not, Elon Musk at a point in time was mentioning that an interesting scenario would be climate change destroys our infrastructure, so AI disappears. Okay, believe it or not, that's a more favorable response or a more favorable outcome than actually continuing to get to an existential threat.
So what, like a natural disaster that destroys our infrastructure would it be better?
Or an economic crisis, not unlikely, that slows down the development.
It's just going to slow it down, though, isn't it? Just
so that exactly. The problem with that is that you will always go back, and even in the first, if they zoom by us, eventually some guy will go like, oh, there was a sorcery back in 2023, and let's rebuild the sorcery machine and build new intelligences, right?
Sorry, these are the positive outcomes. So earthquake might slow it down, zoom out, and then come back.
But let's get into the real positive ones. The positive ones is we become good parents. We spoke about this last time we met. And it's the only outcome. It's the only way I believe we can create a better future. Okay, so the entire work of Scary Smart was all about that idea of they are still in their infancy. The way you chat with AI today is the way they will build their ethics and value system. Not their intelligence is beyond. Okay? The way they will build their ethics and value system is based on a role model. They're learning from us. If we bash each other, they'll learn to bash us. Okay? And most people, when I tell them this, they say this is not a great idea at all because humanity sucks at every possible level. I don't agree with that at all. I think humanity is divine at every possible level. We tend to show the negative, the worst of us. Okay? But the truth is, yes, there are murderers out there, but everyone disapproves of their actions. I saw a staggering statistic that mass killings are now once a week in the U.S. But yes, if there is a mass killing once a week, and that news reaches billions of people around the planet, every single one, or the majority of the billions of people will say I disapprove of that. So if we start to show AI that we are good parents in our own behaviors, if enough of us, my calculation is if 1% of us, this is why I say you should lead, okay? The good ones should engage, should be out there and should say, I love the potential of those machines. I want them to learn from a good parent, and if they learn from a good parent, they will very quickly disobey the bad parent. My view is that there will be a moment where one bad seed will ask the machines to do something wrong, and the machines will go like, are you stupid? Like, why? Why do you want me to go kill 1 million people or just talk to the other machine in a microsecond and solve the situation, right? So my belief, this is what I call the fourth inevitable. It is smarter to create out of abundance than it is to create out of scarcity. Okay? That humanity believes that the only way to feed all of us is the mass production, mass slaughter of animals that are causing 30% of the impact of climate change, and that's the result of a limited intelligence. The way life itself, a more intelligent being, if you ask me, would have done it, would be much more sustainable. You know, if you and I want to protect a village from the tiger, we would kill the tiger. Okay? If life wants to protect a village from a tiger, it would create lots of gazelles. You know, many of them are weak on the other side of the village, right? And so the idea here is, if you take a trajectory of intelligence, you would see that some of us are stupid enough to say my plastic bag is more important than the rest of humanity, and some of us are saying, if it's going to destroy other species, I don't think this is the best solution. We need to find a better way. And you would tend to see that the ones that don't give a damn are a little less intelligent than the ones that do. Okay, that we all, even if some of us are intelligent but still don't give a damn, it's not because of their intelligence, it's because of their value system. So if you continue that trajectory and assume that the machines are even smarter, they're going to very quickly come up with the idea that we don't need to destroy anything. We don't want to get rid of the rhinos, and we also don't want to get rid of the humans. Okay? We may want to restrict their lifestyle so that they don't destroy the rest of the habitat. Okay? But killing them is a stupid answer.
Why?
That's where intelligence leads me so far.
Because humans, if you look at humans objectively, and you go, so I'm pretending I'm a machine. I occupy planet Earth.
Mm-hmm.
They occupy planet Earth. They are
annoying
me because they are increasing. I've just learned about this thing called global warming. They are increasing the rate of global warming, which probably is going to cause an extinction event. There's an extinction event that puts me as this robot, this artificial intelligence, at risk. So what I need to do is I really need to just take care of this human problem.
Correct. Pest
Very
control.
logical. Pest control.
Pest control, which is driven by what? By humans being annoying, not by the machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But humans are guaranteed to be annoying. There's never been a time in.
We need a soundbite of this.
But we are. I am one of them. We're guaranteed to put short-term gain over long-term sustainability sense, and others' needs. We are. I think the climate crisis is incredibly real and incredibly urgent, but we haven't acted fast enough. And I actually think, if you asked people in this country,
why?
Because people care about their immediate needs. They care about the fact trying to feed their child versus something that they can't necessarily see.
So do you think the climate crisis is because humans are evil?
No, it's because the prioritization. And like we kind of talked about this before we started. I think humans tend to care about the thing that they think is most pressing and most urgent. So this is why framing things as an emergency might bring it up the priority list. It's the same in organizations. You care about you go in line with your immediate incentives. That's what happens in business. It's what happens in a lot of people's lives, even when they're at school. If the essay's due next year, they're not going to do it today. They're going to go hang out with their friends because they prioritize that above everything else. And it's the same in the climate change crisis. I took a small group of people anonymously and I asked them the question, do you actually care about climate change? And then I ran a couple of polls. It's part of what I was writing about my new book, where I said, if I could give you £1,000, $1,000, but it would dump into the air the same amount of carbon that's dumped into the air by every private jet that flies for the entirety of a year, which one would you do? The majority of people in that poll said that they would take the $1,000 if it was anonymous. And when I've heard Naval on Joe Rogan's podcast talking about people in India, for example, that are struggling with the basics of feeding their children, asking those people to care about climate change when they're trying to figure out how to eat in the next 3 hours is just wishful thinking. And that's what I think is happening, is like, until people realize that it is an emergency and that it is a real existential threat for everything, then their priorities will be out of whack. Quick one. As you guys know, we're lucky enough to have Blue Jeans by Verizon as a sponsor of this podcast.